Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Sports Hub Central. I'm your host, Chad M.
And I'm Emily Nerland, and we are bringing you a special Olympic edition where we will be talking about Jordyn Wieber, Phelps, and Twitter. Off the bat, we have Jordyn Wieber, a USA Olympian on the gymnastics team, made fourth in all-around competition in the preliminaries. Now, she's going to be watching the team she just beat, the entire field, because two members on her own team beat her, and it's an Olympic rule that only two competitors from each country can compete. Do you think this is a rule that needs to be changed, or do you think it's something that's good for the Olympics to have the competition out there?
Absolutely. It's an absolute joke, this rule. I don't know who's in charge of putting these rules together here. What is this, Little League Baseball, where everybody gets a medal for just showing up?
But what if it ended up just being China and USA?
Good. Those are the. Hold on though. But is the Olympics not about rewarding the best athletes in the world?
It's about the world getting to watch the world do what they do.
Well, it's not the Americans' fault that the other countries don't have the same skill and talent level.
Only Americans. There are certain countries that have more people, and certain countries that have less
people.
So you're saying that the America should just get to go. America has to make cuts on their own team that very well could have made it to the Olympics to get to that point that could also be fairing in that field. So are you saying at what point does it stop then if they allow whoever makes it and whoever doesn't make it? At what point does every single American that can make it get to be a part of it just because they're American, they're from a rich country that can support these athletes?
Well, no. What I'm saying here is there's a certain amount of American gymnasts that make the team, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so out of all those that actually are in the Olympics, they should all be able to compete in the specific event. If they don't make the team, that's too bad. They're not good enough within their own country.
But that's what I'm saying. There are cuts that are made because there have to be cuts, because everybody needs to get an opportunity. Moving to someone that's had more than enough opportunity, Michael Phelps, who got 8 golds in Beijing, is kind of laying an egg in this Olympics, so to speak. Do you think that this London performance is tarnishing his legacy?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's completely tarnished yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, the Olympics aren't over yet. He still has plenty of events to go. He has an opportunity to mend himself. He can still win a couple of gold medals.
But people are seeing that he's not the guy that everyone thought he was. People aren't looking up his food schedule, seeing how much he trains. People don't really care as much anymore. Don't you think that that's chipping away a bit at his American, oh, I'm the best? I don't like Michael Phelps. We can put that right out there. I'm happy he's not doing so well. And I hope that he learns a lesson that I think Rousey should come and talk to him a little bit after, maybe invite him over.
A bit of a beatdown on maybe.
Yeah. And maybe it's just a humbling experience. I think it'll be a great story if he moves on and comes and is some fantastic story 4 years from now. But my bet is he's going to be lazy, he's going to hit the bong, and he's going to quit swimming anyway. Finally, Twitter is stirring up a bit of controversy. 2 athletes now have been expelled from the Olympic Games. One, a Greek triple jumper, and now most recently a Swiss football player for their racist tweets, one against South Korea. So do you think that countries should have some kind of sense of control over these athletes' social media?
I say absolutely not. And the predominant reason for that is because most of these athletes that are going out there and using Twitter are not going on record and making stupid comments like these. Sure, there's going to be the occasional person that steps out of line and says something that is completely unnecessary and uncalled for. But is it fair to penalize everybody else that is behaving, that is doing something?
Isn't it penalizing everybody because it's tarnishing their country by having some athlete come out and be racist? Do you not think that affects the country's vision and how people see them and see them as a country and as a team at the Olympics?
Well, if people look at it that way, then in my opinion, they're very short-sighted, because the bottom line is this: one person does not represent a population of millions. And if you can't overlook that, then you are very short-sighted and caught up in the moment to actually believe that this person's comments represents an entire nation of people.
But that's what they're doing. They're representing their country and doing just that. So you don't think that countries should take some kind of form of a lot of different leagues do that and have control over what their players say in order to preserve this image that they're trying to project? Do you think if it's a system that's been working, why can't countries be doing that?
Well, that's a valid point. I do understand the image factor of things. Personally, I don't get all that worked up in image, if you haven't noticed. But the thing here is, with these athletes, they are making the Olympics on a completely different level in terms of interaction with the fans. I mean, the fact that now you can somewhat interact with these people through Twitter and see what their emotions and thoughts are and how they prepare for these games, it makes it extremely unique. And I believe that there's way more positive that comes from it. That, if the IOC wants to go and ban and expel people, I think they've done a fantastic job and have set an example right there. But to try to punish everybody else, that's completely out of line by, holding them down too hard and having harsh regulations on them.
Well, it's something that you can go do now to start to interact with some of the athletes on Twitter, because it's a wrap for us here at Sport Hub Central. Be sure to check in for more.